if I would take a slightly different viewpoint there so that we could see the entrances to both the men's and ladies' rooms on the pavilion. And then finally, you can actually see that it has a view of the mansion as it comes around, the back of the mansion. Oh, there it is, as a matter of fact. That's what I was talking about. You can actually see the entrances to the men's and ladies' room. All right, and then the pavilion driveway. Lastly, we have, I shouldn't say lastly, we have camera 7 is positioned actually in the pavilion. You can see the picnic tables and so forth, so you get a view of the pavilion there. And the last camera is situated, this is camera 8, is actually on the pavilion roof, if you will. And lo and behold, you can see that the graffiti that we had last month, we would have been able to actually see that because that camera would have a view of the entire, what we call the garage area and the trash disposal area. So that's kind of what the system does. The main equipment in the system is a 16-camera DVR. So the system, although it consists currently of 8 cameras, if we decided we wanted to add cameras, we would have the capacity to add cameras for the cost of the cameras and the wiring. So conceptually, what we're looking at is roughly a $13,000, $14,000 proposal that would enable us to provide much more in the way of security at Crawford Park.
Well, Bishop, I'm sorry, Bishop, this is saying 11.6. What are we doing with 13, 14, 15?
I spoke with Gerard. He did say that some of the wiring has, remember, that proposal is a year old now.
Right.
And he validated some additional costs there. Okay.
All right, and I was going to, obviously, and I want to take the same opportunity to talk about Rye Town Park quickly. We've had vandalism at Rye Town Park. If we had a system in place, we'd find these people, we'd catch them, yep. and they would be brought to justice. I don't want to sound so harsh, but these people here are damaging our property, and this is not our property. This is the taxpayers' property. This is the residents' property, and I think we need to do everything that we can to protect that asset. So that being said, I'd like to then make a motion that we take this document as a baseline, and if anybody has any problems with it, let me know, and let's get some bids. And I suggest that we get this done, specifically for Crawford Park as a start. We have hundreds, thousands of kids there all summer long, and even for the protection of them as well. I think this is a great opportunity.
That's the question. Is this a live feed or this is just film?
Right now, this is set up to go to a DVR. However,
Where will the DVR be?
Well, the DVR in this case will be at the Crawford Mansion in one of the closets there.
Well, but if somebody knew that, could they go in and then doctor up the film?
No.
Well, it would be in a locked closet, and you can't doctor up a DVR to any degree. The only thing you can do is destroy it. But again, it's in a locked closet. It's not publicly accessible.
Who would have a key to the lock?
Well, our staff would have a key.
Okay,
no.
Let's have a conversation.
No, let's have the conversation now, because I understand what your concern is.
Okay, you know
I understand what your concern is, but here's the way it works: is that any DVR for any security system. I'm sorry, put the lights on.
Yeah.
Billy, can the DVR be in our town offices here?
DVR is going to be there on site.
It can't be here?
Oh, yeah, hear me out. The DVR or any of the systems is placed into a steel lock box. So you could have access to the room, and unless you're coming in there with a jackhammer or a sledgehammer, and you're banging away at this box that's either bolted to the wall or bolted to the floor, you're not going to get to the information. In addition to that, if you have a cable, if you have any kind of cable TV access, it's all you need to create the opportunity to have any DVR security system go into the mode where you could dial into an IP address and actually look at those cameras real time. I've been talking about this for years now. and I'm just at the point where I'm not going to say it anymore. All I'm going to do is say, I told you so, and this is what we should do.
Well, let me ask you this question. One question I have is, do the cameras link to like a TV feed? Let's assume
Yes,
we
they
wanted to
can.
have,
They
so
can.
we have a TV feed in the supervisor's office.
Yes, they can.
Yes,
So
they
we
can.
can watch everything that's going on at Crawford Park.
Yes, you can.
So let's do it.
That's what I'm saying.
So, perfect. I mean, I don't disagree. I don't know why we keep, I apologize if it's taken us 3 years to get here, but it seems to make infinite sense. So, certainly you have my support. I don't know.
Well, I used to authorize Bishop to put out a bid
Yep.
or,
Yeah, let's do that.
procurement,
Yeah.
Yep.
can solicit
Why don't we
prices.
go for it?
It's under 20,000.
Thank you for your patience, Deputy Supervisor Villanova.
I just want to, is there a maintenance
Appreciate it,
agreement?
but I do want to have a TV monitor in the town office.
There's no doubt.
In fact,
There's no reason why we
I think one of the things we're talking, and then get a bid for Rye Town Park as well.
Okay.
And
Yeah, maybe you had the same, maybe less
Yeah.
expensive to have too.
right, because just get a bid. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They'll be separate, but equal.
Well, we'll
whatever.
we'll get some specifications and get some pricing.
I know the Rye City guys are not going to want to spend any money.
There's another
So, but
20,000.
let's get the bid. There's no reason why we can't get the bid. Doesn't cost us anything, right?
You know what the Rye
No.
City guys can
No,
do?
that's correct.
They can continue to pay repairs on things down there when they damage all
Exactly.
the boots. And you know something? You're going to continue to pay the repairs, or if you actually find the person that's damaged the property, you make them pay for it.
They want to pay for the police.
Well, also, I think,
And-
but
and by the way,
I
we-
like the
Yeah,
idea.
I
I like the
agree.
idea that we can monitor
Yeah.
In real
our
time.
facilities in real time
Yep.
from a central location. I might put one in my house.
You can each take turns on a weekend.
I might put one in my house.
We-
Yeah, someone has to watch
if I
Well, you have
may,
a DV. You'll have both, won't you?
Yeah, you're going to be watching it
Somebody has to watch
24/7.
it,
No. I'm saying, but once you take, I just assume you have.
But the way most of them work is because I've had them installed.
Okay.
They have a DVR and it's motion sensor activated. It's continuously filming.
Right.
And then what it does is it starts 5 minutes before a movement on the screen and continues to 5 minutes after the movement stops. So it's not, you're not getting a 24/7
Right.
filming of that.
Right.
It's storing that on the disc, on the DVR. Okay, you could go back and you could see what happened 5 minutes before an incident and then watch what was happening. Somebody walked into a room or whatever. There's also some maintenance involved with that, which I'd like to get some prices on that.
Yep.
And the DVR does get full, someone needs to empty it or store it or record it somewhere. I don't know how many hours it records, but
well, you can, for example, we have a 2 terabyte DVR for the security system here at 10 Pearl Street.
that's plenty of room.
Now, that was a 9-camera system that was installed here. It was done 2 years ago, and it cost about $16,000. Maintenance, you're talking about a little over $1,000 a year, probably $100,
All right,
$150
but
a
you'll
month.
put that in the
Yeah, pull it
proposal.
all
Yes,
together.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So we'll hold this resolution. Right.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Change meeting date to June. Well, what's this? What's going on here?
Your favorite board, the Board of Assessment Review, apparently is meeting on June 19th, which is the same night that, I guess they're in here, right, Mitchell? Are they in here?
In past years, they have met in this room. For the record, the date as well as the evening hours are set by New York State law.
Can we put
To
them across
prevent
the
it-
hall, or is that not a good idea?
I'm sorry?
Can we put them across the hall and we can meet in here?
I do not believe that room would be large enough to accommodate
Okay.
all the members of the
I mean,
public.
we could still have the meeting, but we can have it in one of the other communities as well.
I agree.
You telling me?
Yes, whatever it is, yes.
New York State.
New York
All right.
State dictates
Let's
the date and
let's
the
do that one in
evening.
Rye Neck. Let's
Yeah,
do that
why
meeting in
don't
Rye
you
Neck.
do it in Rye Neck
So,
that night?
Mr. Nowotnik, would you make sure we go to Rye Neck that night?
June
As
19th.
long as I got you up there, why don't you just stay up there? Do we just stay up there?
Fine.
Yes. Okay, the...
What?
Graduation week.
All right, well, we
Yeah,
still have
We
another,
may probably have like practices. and
we still
things
have
going on,
another
though.
meeting in between us and June. Alternative. And
I
then-
know, I want to do it in Rye Neck, and we're going to do it in Rye Neck. If New York State, if we have to go to the Village of Marinick, even though it's outside the Town of Rye, and let Governor Cuomo come after us and tell us we're illegal.
Okay, that's not...
That's a challenge.
Like
Sorry.
that, huh?
Well, he's kicking me out of my office. I was only joking, Governor Cuomo. The approval of change for base proportions for Blind Brook. Okay. what do so we're 80.06?
We're
For Homestead?
80.06. Last year it was slightly higher at 80.09.
Right.
The Blind Brook School District Board has already taken a vote and has requested the town to approve these base proportions for purposes of allocating school
Everybody
tax.
knows what we're doing here. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Lane Appraisal Group. This is for what valuation?
This is for the vacant land on Anderson Hill Road, corner of Anderson Hill Road and King Street. It is subject to a certiorari for the years 2004 through 2006.
Now, Mr. Noto, this is when I would normally say, where's the analysis? But since
Well-
I'm in a good mood tonight,
Okay.
Hold on, I think I'm going
Assessor.
to put you in a better mood. I
Okay,
think
good.
that this is Pepsi. Now, Pepsi, as you know, is a local corporate headquarters, meaning they're right here in town. This might, and this is a interesting case, as Mitchell, pointed out, that some of the, they bought the property for $14 million and 113.11. Now, they were only talking about back to 4, 5, and 6, so our valuations are, appear to be pretty good, but this might be one of those cases where a phone call from you to the head of Pepsi over there would be effective, because I think they're very local, and I don't think they want to be perceived as being hostile to school children and the other people.
I have to say, actually, let me go on record as saying I'm maybe somewhat conflicted. I'm half joking. I want to tell Pepsi, and I've been meaning to write them a letter, how thankful I am that they opened up that whole campus to the public. It's an absolutely spectacular campus. It's a beautiful park that they give to the public for free. I go run there and take my family there, so I am well disposed to Pepsi. So let's get the appraiser approved, and we won't execute as we haven't in the past. And we're giving Mr. Markowitz a break on the back of our 2-hour meeting today on other. But would you please send me the typical spreadsheet we're looking for, where we are? Oh, you have it?
Right here.
We have it.
Got it right here.
Oh, okay.
Hey!
We got the cameras.
She just missed it.
Cameras coming. We got cameras coming. We got this all working like clockwork there. The kids in here. Wow. Goldie. Oh, sorry. Supervisor Solomon was here today. Okay, so wow. Okay, so Jesus. Well, I don't understand.
Quite the increase.
So I'm sorry. You're saying the property sold?
Well, if they look at the notes, they're only asking for 04, 05, 06. So forget what that note 1 is, just for informational purposes and background. But the 3 years in question are 04, 05, 06. And what Mitch's note says is that there was in 06 there was a prior sale for 4.1, but it was based upon a contract that was 45 or 41. I can't read your hand.
That was 4+ years old.
4+ years old. So it was an old contract. So what he's saying is that the numbers are probably, our numbers are pretty close.
Sorry, just stop. I apologize. It sold, the property, same property sold for 14.4 on January 13th, 2011?
Yes.
No, it's 2002.
Okay,
No.
if I might, can I take the board through the sequence and make it a lot clearer? Okay. This property is vacant land on the corner of Anderson Hill Road and King Street. In, I'll say, the late 1990s, early 2000s, I don't know the precise date, Pepsi entered into a contract to sell the property. Okay, that resulted in the sale at $4.1 million in 2006. That contract was entered into years earlier. I haven't seen it, but I believe it had some conditions in it relative to approvals or some representations. I do not know the whole set of facts. Okay? Once the property sold for the $4.1 million, there was a dispute with the Village of Rye Brook over zoning and approvals. I believe that's tied in here, and that's why, in the end, property sold in 2011 for the $14 million. I'll say that the $14 million sale represents the sale of the property after village approval.
Right, so just let me
The
understand.
$4.1 million, I believe, represents the sale of the property without any approval
You can't sell the same property twice. I don't understand.
at 2 different points in time.
Well, so who sold the property on October 12th, 2006?
Pepsi.
To who?
to
John Doe. John Doe. Let's
John Doe. Okay.
So if they sold the property, then John, we should be talking to John Doe, not Pepsi.
As I understand it, it is Pepsi. I don't.
Pepsi paid the taxes, so they retain the right to get any refunds on this, probably. In other words, even though they don't own it today, these go back to 04, 05, 06, they probably have the right to recoup.
Okay, so John Doe sold it in
John Doe bought it in 2006 for $4.1
Right, so
million.
who sold it? Who sold the property in 2011? John Doe.
John Doe
New
to
owner.
John Doe II,
The new owner.
the new owner.
And who did he sell it to? Do we know?
So Pepsi.
Yes, I don't have it off the top of my
Okay,
head.
just
So the
Yes.
new wow, John Doe made a lot of money here. So he bought it for 4.1 in 06 and sold it for 14.4.
He closed for 4.1 in 06, made the deal earlier.
Right. Okay. So he closed in 06 and then he sold it for 14.4. Wow. So he made a lot of money.
And there's some spread between the two prices, and
So
our assessment
so-
towards the
so-
low end of those.
So what are we valuing the property at today?
It's been subdivided. I don't have the total in front of me.
All right. Well.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So this is going back. So he's saying I sold it for 4.1 and we're higher. Well, at the end of the day, he obviously thought that was what the value was because he sold it at that value. Anyway, so we'll just hire the appraiser. I don't know why. And this is. Well, I don't know what the appraiser's even going to tell you.
Well, that has been an issue. How do you determine what the fair value is? What we do know is it sold for 4.1 based upon a contract entered into years
Well,
earlier.
actually, this is sort of an interesting case. So
Yeah.
basically, you're saying they made a bad deal, but they made the deal.
Well, it's based upon the zoning change by the Village of Rye Brook and approval of the
The
subdivision.
later sale.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. Let's for tonight's purposes, let's approve the appraiser. But before you hire anybody, Mr. Markowitz, I want to sit down and talk with you.
Understood.
And can I get a motion to approve land appraiser? So moved. Second.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All approved? Thank you. You have nothing else for us?
No.
You're not the disaster grant?
No.
Disaster grant is
All right, there you go. Beautiful.
Our own personal disaster. I don't have a resolution, do I? Oh, yeah, good.
Go ahead, Mr. Arcaro. You're looking very tan.
What you have before you is a resolution for the town to enter into a $9,500 contract with Access Systems to perform a disaster management plan for the town here at Town Hall, with the funds to be provided pursuant to a New York State grant, which the town has already received approval of and has received the first $5,000 of it. There's, as I said, $9,500 contract. The reason for this, as you recall, almost a year ago to the day, April 16th in 2011, was that terrible wind and rainstorm causing the sump pumps, which led to electrical outage, which led to the sump pumps not working downstairs, which led to a terrible disaster. And again, the state came forward on that one and provided a $15,000 grant to help the town restore the damaged property, which then led to them offering to help us once more by helping us prepare a disaster management plan. You approved the RFP at 2 meetings ago. We received 2 responses, both from firms certified by New York State Archives. And the references have been checked out for Access Systems. In our opinion, they were the best of the 2 proposers. The other was Bound Systems. And so that's what you have in front of you.
So basically, we got a grant for $9,500.
We got a grant for $10,005. The bid came in, the proposal came in at $9,500. So the $500 will accrue to the town for the administration of the grant.
And what the grants for disaster management?
Disaster management plan. Right, so they will
We will
prepare...
get a plan from this group.
Right, and I think they've done a very nice job, and they're very experienced at it. The plan is not only for the avoiding disasters to paper records and physical records, but also electronic records. So they would work together with Sullivan Systems.
Any questions from the board?
Nope.
No.
Motion to approve?
Look forward to it.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, so as long as I've got you there. All right, great. I just wanted to encourage you to have monthly updates heretofore on the Model American Community Project. Okay, he knows what I wanted.
Thank you.
And so I'd like just to get monthly updates on how we're moving along. Thank you. So, how are we coming along?
Okay. What you have before you is a status report on one part of the Model American community. And remember, I think we've, as a town, have redefined Model American. We're really looking at that part of the Model American community that has to deal with community support. We talk about it as a Model American community as a town with tax affordability, best-in-class service, intermunicipal cooperation, public-private partnership. This is that fifth element, working with the community. So between the community organizations, the houses of worship, you'll see we have about 100 organizations, about 65 community organizations, and 35 houses of worship. We have completed about 30 interviews. We're about a third of the way there. And I think you'll find some interesting, a couple quotes that I just thought you might be helpful to see what people are saying about the town. And then I'd like to mention a few other items. This would not be possible if it were not for the services of Alejandro Payan, who has been just tremendous in conducting these, and Dave Thomas, who I see is not here, but the three of us tending to work together on this project. But some of the interesting comments are, what can the town of Rye do to become a model American community? So here's some of the answers. The first process should be education. The problem is sometimes we don't understand each other. The town of Rye needs to put sports as one of its priorities. I think that social, cultural events and religious are also important. It's a hard-working community that supports both the church and the community. We need to help the youth and people with drug addictions and rehabilitate people who are in prison. More family activities, events, and things to do in Port Chester as a family. There are no jobs for young people. We need to do more on family issues like alcoholism, immigration issues, educating families in general. You pretty much have done it all. I would not change anything. Nice to get some of those comments.
Yeah.
Keep working towards saving money for the town. Manage money better, make sure it's well spent. Dissolving the town and consolidate expenses. All I know is that the town of Rye is an office building on Pearl Street. Focus more on immigration laws among our Hispanic community, healthcare services, building new clinics, medical assistance for low-income families, and general public safety. Need to focus on the real needs of the community by listening and determining how realistic those needs are met and attainable by the town of Rye, which is precisely, I think, what we're doing. I think the town of Rye should also do more on drug addiction, family and youth counseling, and Sunday studies, Bible or general studies, computer business classes. Like I said, everything is fine. Don't need to change anything.
We want to stop on that one. Yeah, there you go. That's good.
Some of the comments that we get. So in addition to the interviews and trying to work with that, you remember we spoke earlier about the wonderful daycare that needed volunteers. Again, through Andrew Rubino, we have reached out, met with the director there so that these interviews leading to something positive, reaching out now to the senior centers and the seniors to create the opportunity for them to come and speak and interact with the youth at the daycare centers, which is one of the things that I think we want to have out of this exchange of information. Another thing, as you know, has been going on is the African American Cemetery, and on May 26th at 10 o'clock will be the next services there. If you might want to jot that down on your calendar. Another one has developed as a result of these interviews, because one of them was with the American Legion, is that Ralph Cirilli, American Legion Band, that has pretty much ended its service last year, really has not gotten recognition. So I believe with your permission, we'd like to have them come next meeting, May 15th, before you. They'd like to present a photograph of the band for all its years of service to the community, as well as an exchange from our end from certificates.
Great.
So just a nice recognition of a group
Beautiful.
like that.
Excellent. Great idea.
Dave Thomas and I are just jumping up and down because we knew what the report was going to be to you earlier tonight from the Tools Project. That one of the wonderful outcomes, I think, of the Model American community is to have a series of seminars for the community organizations on incorporation, on good financial management, and on social media. So the youngsters from the Tools Project would just fit in perfectly. It's just going to be terrific.
Yep, perfect, good.
The good news that came out from the working on the African American Cemetery led to the Mount Hope Zion Church in White Plains reaching out to us to ask them to kind of help them a little bit as they work with the town of Harrison on the cemetery that's the Stony Hill Cemetery that's there. So people are even seeing what's going on in town, so that's really great. So I think it's been a tremendous project. Enjoy doing it, meeting a lot of wonderful people, and more importantly, though, I think it's just feeling good to see how people are responding to saying, can you help somebody else? And so, again, I think we'll continue with the interviews, which will lead to activities, and continue on with the community involvement.
Wonderful. Any questions for Mr. Arcaro? No. Thank you so much.
Great job.
Great job. Great job with the Tools for Change project.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
They were great. Thank you. Okay, I see our assessor's done for the evening, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, no finance, no Mr. Mecca. I hope is he okay?
Yeah, he couldn't make it tonight, but he just wanted me to mention about the county and town taxes due by April 30th.
April 30th. County and town tax due by April
Remind all
30th.
taxpayers.
Town taxes, we still have them, but we're trying to get rid of them.
Call the tax office.
Excellent.
939-3558.
Beautiful. Town Clerk Vespi, anything for us?
No.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Noto?
Nothing to report other than I think the follow-up on the In Rem from this year. We only had one taxpayer not pay, and that's a commercial building in Mamaroneck called Caputo Tollgate. And so I've made a motion to foreclose on the property, which was returnable on Friday the 13th. How appropriate. So, but the last delinquent taxpayer paid 2 weeks ago. She came in under the...
Is the building
as we made a
occupied?
motion. No, it is not occupied, but there is work being done. There's
And there's an
apparently
owner?
There is an owner. Oh yeah.
Do we know who he is?
Yeah.
And what's the owner saying?
Restaurant.
Well, the owner at this point owes over $93,000 in back
us.
taxes to us. And what happened was they went in and paid the 2006 taxes and said, well, we paid. And that isn't quite good enough. So we'll see.
And what's the value of the property?
I don't know. I'm sure it's over $1 million. I mean, it's,
Over $1 million.
I don't know, it's a big commercial property. Yeah, it's a big building. It's a big
nice
building.
property,
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
nice. It's on the post road in Mamaroneck. It used to be a restaurant.
So you know he's going to be financing our bridges? I mean, you know.
Maybe he may be, but we'll see.
Why? Have you been in touch with him?
Yeah, he has an attorney. I talked to his attorney, and they just didn't have the money. And
My goodness.
By the way, it had been occupied for many years, so I didn't quite understand why they weren't paying their taxes because they did have a tenant there for a long time. It was a restaurant. There was different restaurants actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Okay, keep us posted.
But I do.
So when will we get the property? So you file.
Well, I'll get a judgment. Within 30 to 45 days, I suspect.
And then we own it?
Actually, I'll get a decision from the court within 30 to 45 days.
And then we'll own the property?
Yeah. And I was going to suggest I'll talk to Bishop about doing an auction. Interestingly, the property, that Locust Avenue property, that I'm still in the middle of this quiet title action. A buyer called me today. They want to buy it. So I thought that was pretty funny. I explained to him the problem with the heirs, etc. And he's apparently an experienced investor, and he's done this before. And he said he might buy it depending on what the price was, even with that potential problem. So what I think we might do is add that, just put it on the list of the auction properties, and just make full disclosure that a title company would insure this because there's this potential issue with theirs, and let's see if someone wants to take it with the risk.
Wow, beautiful.
And there's others as well, but maybe we should get that going, that
Great.
process.
Okay, well, in fact, we have on our next meeting all of our
In
assets.
fact, I think I'm going to have Deputy Supervisor Villanova do the auction because he's very funny and he's very good at that.
Exactly.
He'd move these properties pretty quick.
Moving
I
pretty
think.
quick.
I'd second that.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Can we get a list?
Yeah, I can do it.
So next meeting, I need a, without fail, would we make sure this gets in the minutes, Town Clerk Vespi, put it at the top of the minutes. Follow-up, if you wouldn't mind. Let's include a new section, follow-up. So one is follow-up, a report from the Finance Committee on our bonding. The second is a follow-up from Mr. Nowotnik on the town. I want a list of the town assets.
Idea.
And I want a recommendation of what to do with those assets for the next meeting. Now, I've been trying to get somebody in here, but we've been talking about this for a long time, so I want to put our guns to my own head and make sure we get something. And Paul, Councilor Noto, we need to incorporate these assets in that strategy.
Well, I can't do anything with the
No,
Caputo, but the other one,
it's a recommended strategy.
Yeah,
It's not,
yeah,
I just wanna-
absolutely.
Great. Anything else?
No.
Thank you, Councilwoman Collins.
I'd just like to acknowledge the Tools for Change supervisors and the students. I think that was a very impressive presentation they gave, and it's great to see that it was such a success and that the town was an integral part of making that happen. And, other than that, no comment.
Thank you. Councilman Yoris.
No comment.
Thank you. Deputy Supervisor Villanova.
Want to remind everybody that in this coming May, we have Knock Out the Negativity.
Oh, yeah, one
We have Mr. Eways. I know there was one date, and I think the date may have moved, so please check the local calendar for the Village of Portchester.
Still fighting Mayor Pilla?
He's still fighting Mayor Pilla, and I've got my money on Ed Eways. I think he's going to take him out in 30 seconds, first round. The other thing we talked about, a local boxer, David Teleska, and I also think that Ed secured him as well for the event. And we talk about community involvement and the social media, everything that we talked about tonight. But that involvement, you got to have some skin in the game, and you can't phone it in. You can't, the people that send the anonymous blogs that are negative regarding whatever it may be, it's good and all that you're getting your voice out there, but until you come to a meeting and until you stand up at the podium and put yourself out there, that's really the true test of your of whether or not you're civic minded. So that being said, nothing else, and I also want to thank Professor Tobin, and what a great program to just continually come back bigger and stronger year after year with the same enthusiasm. Dave Thomas told me before that 4 of the kids, this is their second year, 3 of the kids, this was their 3rd year, and so if the program wasn't good, the children would not be coming back for this program every year. So really great concept, and Dave hit it right on the head. Dick Hubert, you pulled together a great opportunity. You were a catalyst for a great program for the town of Rye, and specifically for these students. And that's exactly what we need to do to be this clearinghouse for great ideas. So thank you, Dick.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. I think that's his middle name is Catalyst, isn't it? Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Villanova. I could wholeheartedly concur and agree with all those comments about the Tool for Change project. Thank you again, Professor Tobin, Debbie Reisner, and Valerie Fife, and all the support from the schools. The only thing I wanted to talk about is the restructuring of the town project. Bishop, when are we supposed to get the next? Don't stand up. Just tell me when's the next.
Sometime the first 2 weeks in May.
Okay, so in the first 2 weeks in May, just so everybody's aware, we've had the steering committees received the proposal and restructuring of the town. Remember, it's the restructuring of the town and shared services. So the shared service component, we're expecting to get the first 2 weeks in May. And then that's when the steering committee's hard work is going to come to bear. So we're anxious to get that and hopefully have a update for the next meeting. Now, Town Attorney Noto, I think it's important that the town board prepare for these discussions. What's the best way for us to do that? Can we organize a conference call? I mean, obviously, everybody has the
All the
report.
documents first of all. And read
No, but everybody has them, I think. Does everybody have the reports? The latest
We got
report
an
that was done?
electronic copy.
Electronic copy. So, but can we, I'd love to sit down with the town board and say, look, but it's,
have a meeting and schedule a meeting or
but I don't, it'd have to be an executive session
an
effectively.
executive session.
Okay, so we can, do you have to notice an executive session?
You have to notice a meeting and then go into executive
All
session.
right, well, let's do it now then. Right, because let's agree, I think it's time that we get together. So let's set up a time, and then we'll notice, it's going to be executive session, so we won't be open to the public, but let's just agree a time then. How's morning next week? Or afternoon, I don't know how people are set. I know you're, if we get enough advance notice, I know you're fairly flexible. How about you, Councilman Noyers? Are you available do you have a...
Mornings work next week.
Okay, and how about you, Deputy Supervisor Villanova?
I'm good after, I think I'm good after Monday.
So, all right.
What are we discussing? The rem?
Dissolution study, I mean, I think I want to give the steering committee some direction, and I want to make sure the town board's on board for that direction.
All right, Boris, we got the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th.
24th, the morning of the 24th is a Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay, how early do people want to get up? 8 o'clock?
Oh, wait a second, hold on. We don't have enough time to notice this, do we?
Yeah, we do. It's a week.
Yeah.
It's a week away.
Well, special meeting.
48 hours. You can do
4 hours,
48 hours.
okay? All right.
So, 8 a.m.?
I mean, I
Yeah.
really prefer to keep to business hours, but, if I'm the only one who feels that way, then 8
My
a.m.
business
it is.
hours start at
Generally,
7. That's,
Generally, breakfast will be provided, breakfast, coffee, donuts.
Yeah, okay, so this is the 24th?
If you're a morning person, which I'm getting you're not, okay.
Absolutely not. I will make that clear to the public.
Okay, so...
all right, you want to do 8:30 a.m.?
No, we won't talk to Christina for the first hour.
Why not? Just because Deputy Supervisor...
Oh, I have to listen. Yeah, no, I understand. I didn't, I wanted to make sure.
8 a.m. 8 a.m. next Tuesday.
Okay.
So we don't have to do any further noticing, correct?
No, folk will put out...
No, okay, yeah, but okay. Great. Okay, that's all I had. So if I can get a motion to bring the meeting to a close?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Okay, good.